Fine.
This way, turn a little.
There is no escape.
Hey! Yeah! Commit it to memory. Yeah! This way, turn a little. Yeah! Yeah! Ha!
You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
Huh! It's been a while since we visited Poisson. Maybe we should head over and have a look around. my turn, Lily. Committed to memory.
Hey, traveler, Paimon,
Oh, Paimon knows that.
over here. To borrow one of the more popular turns of phrase at the moment, this appears to be quite the fated reunion. Running into you two out of the blue like this has really made my day. I certainly wasn't expecting it.
You can say that again. What brings you to Poisson? Wait, Paimon's got it! You must be here for one of your...
Actually, we've run into a bit of trouble on the home front.
Oh, are Lynette and Fremine here too?
Yep, along with most of the other members of the House of the Hearth. You may have noticed Poisson's.
So you're saying nearly the entire organization has moved to Poisson? Sounds like you've run into way more than just a bit of trouble. What's really going on?
Since the two of you are so curious, perhaps I can fill in the gaps.
You scared Paimon half to death!
Father, you're here.
You know, on second thought, maybe we don't need to know. It's all probably super confidential.
No need to be nervous. I could sense your genuine concern from your conversation just... Of course, I can also understand your confusion. Sending so many Fatui here to Poisson, it's only natural that some might suspect an ulterior motive. I understand. I'm well aware you've had your fair share of confrontations with the Fatui in the past, and I can't exactly... As for right now, however, I would say we have little reason to be at odds, wouldn't you agree? The House of the Hearth. As for the issue at hand, well, it hardly relates to any ulterior motive. To be frank, it all stems from a certain rumor circulating around.
What sort of room?
A rumor that a certain phantom child is hiding away in the House of the Hearth.
A phantom child? Ooh, just hearing the name is giving Paimon...
A spirit that should have long ceased to exist is lurking in the shadows of the House of the Hearth. So I decided to bring the children to Poisson before continuing to investigate the situation. I expect I should be able to track down the spirit fairly quickly. If you're curious, or if you still have some concerns, it might be advisable to stick around for a few days. I'm sure the children would be... Lenny, I'll leave you to entertain our guests. I have some...
Of course, Father. It has long been a dream of mine to invite you to our home and introduce... You're quite well known in the organization already. A lot of people have been talking about you, especially after everything with... If you're willing, why don't you stay a while and have a little chat with us?
All right. We don't have anything else to do right now anyway. But let's be clear, care. We're just gonna be there as guests, okay?
Of course. During our stay in Poisson, we've been helping out the locals with some fishing. We bring in quite the bounty every day. In fact, today, let's go. I'll take... We rented this house from one of the locals to use as a temporary base. I'll come back later and tidy up a bit. After that, it should be all ready for you to stay in tonight.
Awesome, thanks! So, where are we off to now?
Well, when I happened to run into you two earlier, I was actually in... With this many people staying in Poisson, we have to bring in outside supplies every now and then. I should probably make sure the rest of these provisions get delivered.
Okay, we'll come. There are all sorts of rumors about your organization floating around out there. Paimon's not sure if she could even take... But now that we finally have the chance to see a day in the life of the house...
Well, you're more than welcome to come along. Just...
Linny, we're finally here. The supplies. I'm assuming you've...
Brought them with me? Yep, here you go. Hello?
It's the Traveler and Paimon!
No way! Come here, everyone! Hurry! The Traveler and Paimon are...
One at a time, please. Don't crowd around them all at once.
Oh, it's all right! Gotta say, Paimon didn't realize we were... Of course! Father and Linny have told us so much of...
Father told us about how you helped Linny. According to her, you're a trustworthy friend. And as far as she's concerned, that's pretty much the highest compliment we've ever heard her give. As you can imagine, everyone's been very curious about you.
I heard the Traveler is so strong that he can move a mountain with his bare hands. I heard Paimon eats so much that she can clean out the entire pantry at Hotel de Boer in just 3 days. Wait a second! That's the rumor you heard about Paimon? Oh, not cool at... Oh, wait. When guests visit, you're supposed to give them gifts and... Oh, we don't need something like that. Come on. We insist. I can give you some of my new potions. Just pick your poison. And by that, I mean medicine, huh? Or maybe Shaplo can teach you guys about stealth. He's super good at it. He's never been caught.
Ah, now that's not a bad idea. I know you usually prefer to fight head-on, but it never hurts to expand your bag of tricks, right? When it comes to eliminating your enemies, staying quiet can go a long way. Trust me, I would know. I was poisoned not too long ago, and I'm still dealing with the after effects. So I'm not quite as good as I was before, but...
Wait, when you said gift, I didn't think you meant poison. But those are the best things we can give you. You don't... Ooh, how about this? Tell me the name of someone who really annoys you, and we'll teach him a lesson for you.
All right, Fold Selwar. I think that's enough suggestions for now. You don't need a physical gift to make our guests happy. In fact, pestering them with suggestion after suggestion...
Really? Awesome! It's been so long since we've had guests to play with. Yeah, especially if it's poison.
Well, we'll talk to you all later. We've
All right, see you later.
Lenny, about all that poison...
Scared you, did it? That kind of talk when Foltz was really young, he strangled all of his family pets, just out of curiosity. Elwar has an unnatural obsession with potions. Father has forbidden her from trying all the different concoctions she comes up with, but Chaplot is around my age. While I'm mainly responsible for collecting intelligence, he handles surveillance. He's very passionate about his work and has no... I know you two probably aren't used to that kind of talk, but I can promise you they only had the best of intentions. Things like stealth tactics and develop...
Wow, the Traveler and Paimon.
They don't really seem as intimidated. They'd probably get along really well with Filial. If only they got here sooner.
Filial, supplies are here.
Thanks. And who are these two? Outsiders?
Allow me to introduce you. This...
Oh, you're the famous duo I've been hearing so much about. It's nice to meet you. I heard you've traveled too.
Of course! We're making our way all across to that!
Oh, good for...
You must be pretty familiar with Fontaine by now, then. Have you seen the new opera that started running recently?
Oh, this is the first we've heard.
It seems like it's going to be fantastic. From...
Oh, and there's The Blind Maiden, too. That one is supposed to have audience interaction. Seems pretty interesting. After this mission is over, I think I'll go get a manicure.
Oh, maybe I should dye my hair.
Is it just Paimon, or do these two seem much easier to get along with than the others? Looks like the House of the Hearth has some normal members after all.
I heard that.
Oh!
I'm guessing you're referring to Foltz and the others? Yeah.
I bet those crazies are practically foaming at the mouth right now. I'm sure they just can't wait to get back to Snezhnaya to carry out the plan.
That's enough, Filial.
Don't talk about family members behind their back, right? Whatever. Let's...
Guess this is goodbye then. If you ever have some time, we should go...
Well, that's it for the supplies.
Well, they didn't seem too happy with each other. Seems like there could be something more going on here. You're right. We're only here as guests after all. Oh, Linny's getting super far ahead. Come on, let's catch up.
Looks like there's more trouble in store next month, too.
Hey, just focus on the positives. At least our time...
What do you think of the members you've met so far? Well, Father is always encouraging us to be strong-willed and independent. So if there's, well, I should probably get cooking.
Of course!
Then let's head out and... Uh-huh? Fremine? What are you doing?
Well...
Hey, nice to see you again!
You too. I heard you...
We were just going to make some food. Why don't you come along? I could use some help in the kitchen, and I seem to remember you mentioning you wanted to make...
Seafood?
Were you looking for something just now, Fremine?
It's nothing. I just wanted to see if there were any extra supply.
Yeah, we've got some left over. What?
Some food and water. And some clean cloth, if possible.
No problem. Give me a second here. Food, water... Wait a minute. What do you need all of those for? You're not on any missions as...
I thought I'd grab an extra portion because I get...
Fremine, you remember what I told you? You're not like me. Tell me what's going on. Is it really...
Maybe it'll be better.
This is the first time I've seen that kind...
Just follow...
How brilliant! You're back! Oh, and you've brought some friends.
Hello, my name's Linny. I grew up in the house...
Hi, Linny. I'm also a child of the House of You can call me Clairvy.
Clairvy?
It's nice to meet. Does that name ring any bell?
No, not at all. That's not a name we have on our roster, I'm sure of it. What? She must be the phantom child Father's been searching for. From the looks of it, I'm guessing you were the one that found...
No, I haven't told anyone.
For how long?
About half a month now.
So ever since we got to Poisson, then. Do you have any idea what you're doing?
I know what I'm doing.
Really? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're hiding the very person Father has been trying to find. If Father finds out about this, you know the rules of the house, Fremine. I know you do. Father doesn't tolerate any form...
I've thought it through. And I just can't... Linny, don't you remember last year? Sheplo nearly died after getting poisoned during that one mission. He wasn't able to get back before the poison started taking effect. And not a single person was there to help. That night, while I was sleeping, I heard a voice telling me to go save him. I opened my eyes, but that feeling of being haunted, of hearing voices, it's happened many times in the house.
So what you're saying is... that would...
Unless there are other spirits roaming around the House of the Hearth. If Clairvy were our enemy, it wouldn't matter whether she was a spirit or an actual child. I would have acted without a second thought, because that's what Father ordered us to do. But she's been living with us, helping us from the shadows all this time. I couldn't just hand her over to be dealt with. Not when...
So what's your plan then? You can't keep her here forever. Someone is bound to find out eventually.
I haven't thought that far yet. I don't want to disobey an order from Father.
Come with me. There are a couple things I'd like...
Those two sure care a lot about. Well, they got a funny way of showing it. No way. They have a really deep bond. I could tell right away, cause I just don't know how long that kind of bond can last. The darkness in the house runs deeper than you can imagine. No one can get out alive.
I'm sorry, Liddy. I really didn't mean...
Oh, really? You didn't mean to? 'Cause I, for one, wish you...
Huh?
You know, when we were younger, you didn't call me Linny. You called... We grew up together, the three of us. We were all orphans, all rescued by Father. Of all the siblings, later on, when you started calling me Linny, I wasn't actually surprised. After all, Lynette and I are related by blood. We've had to depend on
Liddy,
The darkest and most difficult moments of my life happened before you and I had ever met. I'm sure that's true for you as well. Even so, Fremine, we've stood by each other for all these years. You and Lynette are the most important people in my life. No one can replace you.
Oh, looks like things are getting kinda heated between Linny. Oh, it's raining. I should put my clothes away. Perry? Huh. Looks like she's not here either. May I present? It's time to read. How brilliant! Hey, you two! Hope we aren't interrupting anything. Oh, wait a minute, Fremine.
Everything's fine.
Well, we're all friends here, right? We've been through so much together, so if...
It's just a small family dispute. It's not something our guests should trouble themselves with. In fact, it might be better if
What are you getting at?
when guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate. I just... Thank you. I was really hoping to keep you out of it.
Me too.
Well, back to the matter at hand then. If we don't plan on handing Clairvy over to Father, then our only other... That means finding out where she came from and what she's doing here. Then we can send her on her merry way.
I've tried that already.
And?
And... nothing. She even came with us all the way to Poisson. It seems like wherever the house...
I don't know much about spirit.
Let's see here. Paimon remembers hearing something like, if you fulfill a spirit's last... Oh, it's just that Paimon doesn't really remember where she heard that.
Well, sounds like it's worth a shot. Guess that means we should go ask her about her wish. But first,
What is it?
I need you to promise me that this will stay between the two of us. We're the masterminds behind this whole thing. No one else gets involved.
Of course. I promise.
All right. Then let's seal the promise just like when we were kids. Fist bump on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I swear.
Whoa!
Lynette!
But what a surprise! What brings you here, dear sister? And, when exactly did you get here?
You're an idiot, brother. And you too, Fremine. You 3, Traveler. And you 4, Paimon.
Wait, what did we do?
I've seen Clairvy around the House of the Hearth before. I hadn't seen her in Poisson, so I figured she must not have come with us. But it turns out, you were just hiding her. I heard you talking about your plan. Rather than steering clear... If you don't agree, I'll have no choice but to report everything back.
You're not giving us much wiggle room here, Lynette. Well, I guess we're all in this together then. After we talk to Claire, there's no time to lose.
I'm full. She said she's full, but the food doesn't look like it's even been cut.
That's right. Based on what I've been able... Still, when she's presented with food, she'll always linger around it for a good little while.
Does she know that she has already passed away?
I've tried to ask her, but she didn't answer. My guess is...
Clairvy, if you've got some time,
Sure. Oh, another new friend. Hello.
Clairvy, how did you join the House of the...
Huh? Isn't the knave brings you here and then you can't leave?
It's just that your name, it's not on the roster. And I've never seen you before.
The roster? Oh, I get it now. I think there might be some things you don't know about the people in charge. They're not as nice as they look. They say they keep a roster, but it's not complete. There are a lot of people who aren't on it. In this house, some people are family and other people are just test subjects. Those kinds of people aren't ever going to get a place on the roster. Unless... Wait, does that...
Is there anyone that can vouch for you?
Perry. She's my best friend. She's the only one I trust in this...
Have either of you heard of that name?
No.
Me neither.
Clairvy, Perry. But it seems like she's telling the truth. Either that, or this kid's... Maybe we should try a different approach.
A wish?
It can be anything you want. Just imagine. It's your birthday, you're blowing out the candles.
To where the sun can find me. That's it? Well, that sounds easy enough. The darkness in the house runs deeper than...
Okay, time to divide and conquer. I'll try and find a way to use basic illusory magic to take Clairvy... Lynette, try and find the list of executions that Clairvy was talking about. And Fremine, you stay in Poisson. We can't be the only ones who've had run-ins with Clairvy. I need you to collect intel on everything she's said and done.
Understood.
I'll try my best.
What about us? What should we do?
I really appreciate your willingness to help, but this is a family matter. Let me think. Since Father considers you to be guests, maybe you could stick by...
Ah, Paimon gets it. You want us to distract.
I'll give you a magic bird. If Father suspects something, all you need to do is release it when she's not looking, and it'll alert me. Of course, that's only as a last resort. If Father doesn't seem to notice us, there's no need to make contact. If the worst case scenario happens and we're discovered, just tell Father everything. We're not going to let our guests get punished for our own actions. You too. Okay, this is where we part. Father should be at the beach. I really hope this goes well. No, It... Clairvy, I'd like to take you somewhere. Is that okay with you?
Squall Fury.
Yeah! Skyward! Scatter!
It's the knave. And child. Hey, aren't you supposed to be in Snezhnaya?
Oh, it's you two. I was unconscious for quite a while after the fight in the Primordial Sea. After I woke, I couldn't have that now, could I? Not when I've still got unfinished business here in Fontaine.
What sort of unfinished...
It has to do with Skirk, my master. I really wanted to meet up with her, but by the time I still have so many questions for her. Without any other leads, all I could do was ask the knave.
Oh, okay, so have you found...
Unfortunately, no. While the House of the Hearth is adept at collecting all manner of intelligence...
Basically, unless Master feels there's a need to meet with me, she's not going to be... But that problem has an easy fix. I just need to become stronger, and then...
Paimon thinks you should focus on getting better first.
The worst of it is over. It's all thanks to that one kid from the House of the Hearth. Elwar, I think her name was. She gave me a bunch of random potions to drink. They didn't go down easy, let me tell you. Pain and chills all over. And that's good, because it looks like I really do have to head back this time. The old man's been putting...
Project Stuja?
Yeah, that's the one. I heard Regrator's involved too. I'm not looking forward to having to listen to all his monologuing, that's for sure. Hey, maybe you could think of a way for me to stay in Fontaine for a little longer. Helping Linny and the others brush up on their fighting skills would be far more interesting. If you and I could spar, that would be even better. I've been...
And what a sweet little daydream that is. But I also have a role to play in all this. Besides, considering how little they see fit to step outside the homeland, being called on to return to Snezhnaya by such a...
One I could do without,
Is it just Paimon? Or does it kind of seem like they're...
So, dear guests of the House of the Hearth, to what do I owe the visit?
Well, we just... Right! We're super close to Linny and the others, but we still don't know much about...
Is that so? Introductions have already been made.
Oh, well, you see? There's only so much you can learn about someone from a short
Good question. I don't...
The fact that you have to ask tells me our intelligence work has been quite successful. Telling you the answer to that question would only serve to undermine that.
Spoken like a true diplomat. That was some expert sidestepping right.
Well, if there's nothing else, I think I'll take my leave. I still have a small matter to...
wait, don't go!
I'd also like to hear... I've met some of the members of your organization, and they all seemed like really good kids. They actually reminded me of Tony, which, by the way, if you ever betray them, I'm just letting you know, I won't let you off easy.
And why would I betray them?
Well, you've already betrayed the House of the Hearth once, haven't you? At least, that's what I heard. Okay, I admit. That's just what the old man told me. The rooster, I mean.
Wait, did you?
Never mind what I've done. I'm more curious as to what the mighty rooster had to say. Care to
Well, nothing much. Just some stuff about you taking out many other members of the House of the Hearth, and even... Based on your reaction, I'm guessing it's all a bunch of lies.
Hardly. I don't appreciate his particular turns of phrase, but I suppose he didn't say anything untrue. Although, it would be more accurate to say that there is a certain level of prejudice involved. But I don't intend to clear that up just yet. Call yourself a Fontainian, for example, and people will assume all sorts of things, when the real truth...
Huh? You're not actually from Fontaine? But then why did you try to help out with
I was trying to protect the children born in Fontaine. Claiming that I myself was a Fontainian simply made it easier to operate. People would hardly suspect a fellow Fontainian of having any ulterior motives. Who wouldn't want to save their homeland after... The primordial sea wouldn't have any effect on me, but it would have caused great harm to the House of the Hearth. Well, you...
So, you stayed in Fontaine for the kids. I guess I was wrong to believe you'd betray them. Apologies. Looks like I was holding on to some prejudices myself.
Good. Like I said, I like it.
Actually, while I was recuperating at the House of the Hearth, I heard that members always resolve disputes and arguments with a friendly spar, and the loser has to back down. Seems pretty cool if you ask me. Would also...
Well, that's only a recent development. In the past, such spars weren't nearly so... friendly. The losing...
They were that high stakes? Whew, at least that's...
Well, the current atmosphere's not half bad. I'm a bit jealous, actually. You've got so many family members.
Having a lot of family around means dealing with a considerable amount of bickering and scheming. Once Tonya and Tusser enter, just imagine. Tusser becomes obsessed with plucking out strands from the rooster's mustache, or Tonya decides to dye her hair 42
Okay. I get the picture. Well, would you look at the time? Traveler, Paimon? I'm not sure where our paths will cross next, but the next time we run into each other, we should
Again, maybe this is a conversation we can have when you look less like you're gonna keel over.
All right. Well, thanks for everything.
No thanks necessary. You also played a part in obtaining the Gnosis. I would...
I like the sound of that. Well, I'm off.
We should probably get going too.
Oh? You want me to leave so...
Oh,
I'm rather enjoying the evening breeze. If you don't mind, I think I'll stick around for a bit. I have some things to think about. Apologies for not attending to you like a proper host. Please forgive this slight. I do...
We managed to keep her distracted until nightfall. Good thing Child was there to keep the conversation going. You don't think she suspected anything, do you? Oh, I wonder if Liddy ran into any issues. Let's hurry back and see how everything went.
Oh, you decided to stay a little longer.
I don't know what his motivations could be, but he seems genuine about wanting to help me. He treats me just like family. Oh, and speaking of family, Tonya and Tusser are always telling me about the pastries and other gifts he brings them when they write. So while I've been away from Snezhnaya, he's kept his promise to take care of my family. Oh, now that guy has a head full of grandiose plans fueled by raw ambition. I don't understand a word he says once he starts talking about his theories. But as long as he keeps our cash reserve stocked up, I'm not complaining. Look, I've got nothing against people who have their own agendas. I myself joined the Fatui to get more experience in combat. But I don't like her at all. If she stood to benefit from betraying others, she'd turn against the Tsaritsa in a heartbeat. There isn't a sane bone in her body.
A wolf in sheep's clothing. To exert a higher level of control over people, she puts on a graceful and cordial front. Squall and fury.
Yeah! Skyward! Scatter!
Search for.
Lenny, how did everything go?
Well, long story short, we ran into a small issue. Everything was fine at first. She followed me up to the surface just like I... But as I led her out of the shadows and into the sunlight, she vanished. I turned around and there she was, standing at the edge of the shadows, silently watching me.
Huh. Maybe she's afraid of sunlight, or... Nope. Well, we could always try... Oh, true.
I've pretty much tried it all already. Nothing worked.
Good. I've got the list. It's right.
Really? Well, what are we waiting? Oh, that's a lot of pages. Oh, it's gonna take forever to get through.
We can each take a section. Here.
La Pouillade, l'endroit, Chambel. Oh, yikes. That Aurere guy has a huge scar on his face. He's kinda giving Paimon the creeps.
I've met him before. The scar is from an injury he received during a mission. I still remember him joking with me about it. He said any future lover would take one look at him and then lose all interest.
Did he say anything?
Well, I asked if there was someone he was interested in. He said it was only later that I learned he really did have someone he liked. He risked everything to escape so he could be with her, but it didn't work.
Wait, So that means...
It may seem cruel, but it's just one of... Betrayal is not to be taken lightly. We know too many secrets to come and go as we please. Her name's not here, huh? Well, that's not too surprising. Let's shift our attention then. Fremine, were you able to find anything? Fremine.
Sorry. I managed to talk to quite a few people.
Strange.
Yeah, I mean, I know there have been arguments in the past. Times when people...
Oh, those are two of the people that we met while delivering supplies. Paimon can see how they might not get along. They had very different...
That's to be expected, actually. Father brought us all here, shared her knowledge with us, taught us how to fight. That's one thing we all share. But that's also where the similarities end. Not all. As members of the House of the Hearth, we're also considered part of the Fatui. And to a lot of certain members get older and realize they want something else for themselves. But considering the rules of the House, people like Chaplot and Foltz are loyal to Father and her vision. They're proud to be part of the Fatui.
These kinds of conflicts have always been there.
Well, that's true. But it just feels like things have gotten worse lately. I can't say for sure, but I think they've met Claire.
You think she's been inciting them to act out?
No, not exactly. But I wouldn't be surprised if she said something to them about the dark... She's told me about it before. Experiments being run on children. People being used...
And they just believed all that?
Clairvy's words probably gave them the excuse they were looking for. Whether they actually believe them to be true is secondary.
This is all because of Project...
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on a sec. What's this Project Stuja all about, huh?
Sorry, but I'm not sure of the details either. I only know what Father has told us, which is that it's something the Rooster and Regrator have been working on together. Apparently, because the House of the Hearth was so successful in obtaining the Gnosis, we now have the honor of playing
Wait, but isn't that a...
a key role is just another way of saying dangerous role. To us, the Father thinks so too, but she's in no position to refuse. Their plan isn't exactly it's just that we'll lose a lot of members in the process. Participating in the plan, it's an honor in name only.
Okay, super complicated top secret Fatui business aside, what does all of this have to do with...
External pressure has a way of exacerbating internal strife. You can't overlook the power of fear either. I thought resolving the Clairvy situation would make everything go back to normal, but it looks like things are more complicated than I thought. If we leave Filiol and the others to their own devices...
We can only focus on one situation at a time, brother.
You're right. Even if we confront Filiol and the others, it won't do any good. It might even make matters worse. Well, it's getting late. We should have... Lynette, you stick with me this time. Fremine, keep a close eye on Filiol and the others. Make sure they don't do it. Good work today, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah! Skyward!
I'm always looking forward to an early night, but she can't sleep at all. Hey, you don't think the Knave will be too angry with Linny and everyone if she finds out about all this, do you? She's even scary when she smiles. If she were to actually get angry... You have to protect Paimon if that happens, okay, Traveler? Oh, well, in that case, we should just plan on running away. Look! Look over there! Quick! Let's catch up with her before anyone sees. Trust as ever, Traveler. Over there!
The wind rises. Quick, follow me.
Oh, where is she going? Oh, if someone sees her, we're toast. Oh, look! She stopped! Clairvy! Shh. I opened the window while no one was look how pretty the outside is. If only I could have more than this. You probably think I'm being silly, huh? All this hopeless resisting. It's better to dream of what I could have than try to make it a reality, right? Please, help us get on the same page here, Clary. Sure. Although, after everyone in this family is nothing more than a tool. Something to be used, and as long as you're useful, you get to stick around. Lose your value, and you're handed over to the doctor, experimented on, and given a fate worse than death. I've seen it happen again and again, and I've had enough. You're saying the knave did all that? It's just, that doesn't seem like something she would do. She's scary and all, but... I knew you wouldn't believe. Everyone thinks she's a good person. They all think of her like a real mother. Mother? But she doesn't deserve that title. She's disgraced it and tarnished it. And if only Perry were here, she'd understand. Perry? There's the... Also, Paimon's getting estranged. It almost feels like she's not really here with us. Paimon can't tell if she's actually talking to us or if she's mistaken us for someone else. Well, in any case, it seems like she really needs... She looks so young. But it seems like she's been through... It's getting windy. I should... Ooh, look at the moon. Isn't it pretty? Hey, wanna hear a secret? I heard that if you look up at the night sky in Snezhnaya, you can see the aurora. It's supposed to be super pretty. Even prettier than the moon. Perry and I promised each other that once we're older, but I can't find her. I'm worried she's also been... No, that wouldn't happen to her. She's special. Mother, I should really go talk to Mother, but we just fought. She doesn't want to see me. And what should I do? Paimon really doesn't understand what's going on with her. we've got an...
All right, looks like we're all here. Let's go ahead with the plan.
Oh? What is it?
What makes you ask that?
Well, we kinda ran into Clairview. We met the doctor back in Sumeru. He's super dangerous. And he's done...
It's possible that Father and the Doctor have had certain dealings, but I don't think Father... We're not really on the same side, so there's not a lot of trust between them. That doesn't exactly set the stage for a successful partnership. I did hear, though, that when Father first became a Harbinger, the Doctor offered to work with... Father rejected most of his proposals, except for one. It had to do with some sort of...
Secret experiment? Could that
I don't think so.
I don't know any details about the experiment itself, but I do know it's an entirely independent operation. The Doctor only proposed a direction for the research. That was the extent of his involvement. The details of the experiment are confidential, but complete records are kept on all participants. That doesn't seem to be the case with the situation Clairvy referred to. I know you don't agree with some of the Fatui's methods, and I'm not asking you to. But I am asking you to trust us on this.
Alright, that's good to hear. Clairvy seems to think the Knave and the Doctor worked together to do something horrible. If that turned out to be true, it's just that it doesn't seem like Clairvy is... The easiest thing to do would be just ask the Knave directly, but Paimon doesn't think she'd tell us.
Father didn't come back last night. She's probably still near the shore. We'll be Lynette, you're with me. Fremine, you know what to do. Be on your guard, everyone. All right, let's get...
Where are we going today?
Let's try somewhere...
Ah, it's you two again. I must say, you... Perhaps if you had less on your mind, you'd be able to absolve yourself of such... So what are you planning to do now? Catch up on some sleep? Or should I give you some time to rack your brain for a topic to discuss before although I must profess to being curious. Without child here, how do you plan on distracting me?
Us? Distract you?
Looks like you could have used some extra time to think. No matter. Don't worry. I'll be sure to steer clear of any scheming children.
The ocean breeze is sure nice today.
Children always think they can hide things from the grown-ups. But nothing gets past me. Least of all a little scheming. Well, I'll leave you to think things over. If you're so inclined, meet me outside the Palais Mermonia. Good things come to children who do as they're told. So I do hope you decide...
What should we do? She clearly knows about everything we've been doing, and Paimon doesn't think it'd be a stretch to say she was threatening us just now. Oh, good idea. Well, we should probably head to the Palais Mermonia. Paimon doesn't want to find out what happens if we don't show up. Based on what the Knave was saying just now, it sure didn't seem like it'd be anything good. Okay, then we probably shouldn't keep her waiting. It seems like Linny and the others are... astro... Add astro... Thank you for
Seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, we might as well enjoy some pleasant conversation while we wait. I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by good companions is...
You're not planning on doing it.
I assume you're referring to Lenny, although there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. It appears... No matter. I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house meet the same fate. There are no...
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives? I'm sorry to disappoint, but the rules of...
But don't you care about them at all? They really respect you. They even call you father. You must feel so...
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly an exception. Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, you two will not be held accountable along with them. I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will be able to keep their lives. As for Filial, Nentoy, and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can try to escape, but once you know our...
But that's awful.
Ah, you seem concerned. Out of consideration for my guests, I suppose I could turn a blind eye for a little longer. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Clairvy in the meantime, all evidence of their wrongdoing will be lost. In that case, I could hardly punish them for something I couldn't prove. If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable. And the punishment will be severe. Of course. Oh, and here, I believe this. It takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird like this. It would be such a pity if you were to lose it. Permanently.
Wait, where did you get that?
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to chat. I asked you to meet me here because I have business at the Palais Mermonia. It has nothing to do with you, but I think it would be prudent for you to stick by my side for the time being. There will... Well, time to go. Looks like we wrapped.
Yeah! Skyward!
The wind rises.
It's been a while, monsieur, I must say. I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly. The Palais Mermonia operates with an efficiency...
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be afforded the proper level of... Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting... I see you brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well.
I'll be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would like to see resolved before I go. It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in this proposal. Please review it at your leisure, Monsieur Nevelet.
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense, I must admit that I fail to see why you would wish for such a thing.
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette, so allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the ocean. Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a barren riverbed behind. Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different destination, like a field.
Did you get any of that?
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing.
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make sure it's strained of all impurities and returned to its cleanest form.
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal. Perhaps you could expound on that?
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine. And, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk?
Tartuffe. Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence, I cannot imagine how the House of the Hearth might have been involved in his passing. Of course, if you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I am inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Neuvillette. Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy. I do hope I get the chance to hear your impressions. Perhaps at our next meeting, yes?
Indeed. I trust you would not overlook your commitment.
All right, Traveler Paimon.
Too slow.
I believe I've told you before that my emotions easily resonate with those of others. Yet in the few meetings I've had with that Harbinger, I haven't been able to sense any aspect of her emotional state. Her mind is like a still body of water. Who knows what darkness lies in its depths? And it's unclear whether this is her natural state of being, or whether it's an incredible strength of will that gives her the ability to master her emotions. Either scenario, however, suggests I do not expect an explanation as to why you two are by her side. Whatever your reason.
So, what exactly were you talking about? Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large...
You really want to know? I would imagine there might be...
Lenny, Paimon really hopes everything's going on. Oh, Paimon recognizes that look. You've got your thinking cap on, don't you?
Oh, shoot. Are you... Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling the... Well, let me make it up to you at least. Here, take...
Oh, you don't have to give us anything.
Please, I want to. It's not like I'm short on supply. All the extras will be... It's my fault, really. I was just trying to bring home some extra mora for the family, but I bit off more...
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend here on accident.
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to compensate you with mora. It's just...
I'll take 3 papers. Here.
Oh! Thank you for your patronage. May the Archons bless you with good fortune. If only I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably just take on a smaller inventory though, right? I'm getting married soon, so sometimes it's hard to not get ahead of myself. Anyway.
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson. We've even acquired some light reading to enjoy along the way.
Actually, why don't we... Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to Poisson on an empty stomach.
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation in your... That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. I just have one condition. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious about Claire V.
Wait, why are you being so generous all of a sudden? You're not gonna...
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the talent for bad things.
Then what can you possibly...
The most important consideration in a negotiation is that both sides receive something they want. Demands and threats only get you so far. Wonderful. Here. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Okay, sounds normal enough, but...
That is for you to decide. Then we have a deal. Follow me.
Swarm Fury!
Yeah! Skyward! Scatter!
Search
4.
How about we explore the area ahead of us later? What is this place?
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. No one comes here anymore, nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, it was before I became a Harbinger, and before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
You were the one that killed Clairvy?
Patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. I'll start. Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family, Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother. Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries they would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing, Crucibina...
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had... Of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Peruere.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Peruere was convinced that, despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Peruere that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed or sacrificed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned, even with her body racked with pain. She would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Perouer would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day that light simply vanished.
Oh no. What happened?
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Perouer weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Perouer suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down the very person sitting on top of this? Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an Clairvy never gave another reason, but Perouer could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her if she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained. Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be free. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Perouer, the very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, Clairvy decided to let... From that moment on, Perouer's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. Rather, her success left her with an inexplicable sense of restlessness. She was unsettled. And there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps you two would like to take a guess as to what it was?
Crucibina, you mean? But...
Correct. This is the place where Peruware killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother the moment she acted. Any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principal. Peruware won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed...
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Peruware.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, hearing it after I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of... And that is where the story ends.
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of blaze and ruin. You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. Of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special case. Clairvy died when she was 16 years old. But what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however.
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present.
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Clairvy for a long time.
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity, but other times she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to any... Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time. Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight, they failed, yes? The reason is actually quite simple. But no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate so much as a single speck of ash will be left.
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another way? So what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend! At least talk to her first!
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. That goes for Filial and Nantoy as well. She's had quite the effect on them. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them. Upholding the rules without question is a trait we both
Is this really what you want to do?
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs: anger and sorrow. Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemakers here by nightfall. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I gave your friends quite a bit more time. As for what happens now, we'll just have to wait and see.
Here they are, Father.
You gonna execute him? Seeing something like that would actually be a first for me. Lenny!
I'm sorry. I heard about how you helped, but I still failed. I couldn't find a way to fulfill her wish.
Huh? Are you... Perry?
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perry!
Shh. Stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first, I believe certain scores need settling.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house, and for that, you must be punished. Overall, however, I suppose your wrongdoing is hardly the most egregious of the bunch, so I'll deal with your punishments later. As for...
By traitors? Do you mean us?
Father, let me explain. We didn't mean to...
Fultz, why don't you share what you heard?
Yes, Father. Secret midnight meeting number 3. Participants, Filial, Nantoy, Sato... Nantoy clearly said, if only Father wasn't the one who... Sato added, I'm sick of this life. I just want to live as a Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
I did not! You're lying! Fultz is trying to frame us.
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, you and Toddy and a bunch of other people started talking about Clairvy. You were using all those things We're birds locked in a cage. The only way out is to destroy it. That's what you said, wasn't it?
You little. You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you, huh? And you, Sheplo? Have you forgotten who stood by your sickbed, watched over you, and changed your dressings? Come on!
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar. You wouldn't be doing this if that were the case. So why?
We all live in the House of the Hearth. You know the type of work we do, Filial. A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. It's not like it's never happened before. That kind of thing is hard to forget. That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate any form of betrayal. Ever since we came to Poisson, you've had 7 secret meetings. A lot of the things you talked about really crossed the line.
You've been spying on us for half a month? Wait a second. Now that I think about it, the move to Poisson was just a way to make it easier to spy on us, wasn't it?
Filial, Nantoy, I owe you both my life. I owe Clairvy too. If it weren't for all your help after I got poisoned, I wouldn't. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness, even if it cost me my life. But
Why? Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake. And we should I'm sorry, Sheplo. Fultz. We... accept...
Sheplo, According to the rules of the House of the Hearth, how should these...
All those who betray the house pay with their...
And so it shall be.
Father, please wait!
Something you want to say, Linny?
Please reconsider, Father. What Filial and the others did, does it really count as betrayal? We all come from broken families. From the very first day we joined the House of the Hearth, we wanted nothing more than to make it a real home. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I know is this. Killing Filial and the others may uphold the rules, but doing so will only bring us further away from being a real family than we've ever been. So please, Father, please.
I agree with Linny.
Father, please.
Linny, you...
I also agree with Linny.
An order once given cannot be rescinded. However, given the extent of your determination, I suppose we shall have to go about this...
Our weapons?
Father, are you referring to a duel?
Precisely. The rules of the house will not be altered. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient...
Wait.
Impossible. Father is way too strong. Did you hear that, Traveler? Lynn and the others have to duel the knave. What should we do? Can they really win something like that? If they lose, those people from the house are really gonna be executed. Hey, are you listening?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver.
Looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means there's no chance she's throwing the duel on purpose, huh?
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to...
When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the help.
What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
You're asking to join the duel against the knave?
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal, after all. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less, and you may just lose your life.
Spare your energy. Running is of little use. With these rising flames,
Watch out for Father's movements!
spare your energy. Running is of little use.
Closer now.
Hang in there.
With these rising flames,
How amusing.
How dare you!
game's up. Time is over. Look out! Now that's light. Quietly now. Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
The show begins!
The countdown, and voila! Have a taste of fervor.
Stop that!
How amusing.
Over here!
Look. Trapped like a bunch of helpless animals. Look. Trapped like a bunch of helpless animals.
The show begins!
Look out!
How amusing.
Squall Fury.
Look. Trapped like a bunch of helpless animals.
With these rising flames. Oh?
Got him!
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all.
Father's even stronger than I expected.
Kindness has been sealed away.
My blade is all that remains. Here comes the catch.
Let's see how strong your resolve truly is.
Now's our chance!
Over here! Gotcha!
Sundown is only the beginning. You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Oh, I know.
No! I'm sorry, Father!
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Father, no!
Made it out, did you? You're stronger than I expected.
A crimson moon? I can't move.
Still, not strong enough to beat me. I believe we can end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't want things to get too out of hand. Given that I am the victor of this duel, as agreed, the punishment stands.
No!
I never thought things would end like...
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light of this, Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping.
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for, but I've kept them super safe. I didn't lose a single one.
Wonderful. Then, in just a moment, I'll have you administer them.
Bottled flames?
Indeed. They're the product of a secret experiment. Under certain special circumstances, flames can be extracted from my person and once ingested, searing pain will spread across every inch of your body. No harm will come to you physically, but your memories will be burned away. If you can withstand the pain. When you awake, you'll have forgotten everything you know about the House of the Hearth. And will be, in other words, administering this concoction will kill the version of you that grew up. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self.
So, you're just...
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die, and our secrets will die with you. So no, I don't...
Even so... I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really...
Don't cry, Filial. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes. Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver. Don't let yourself be controlled by...
Of course.
Dry your tears, and go pursue the life you really want.
Yes, Father.
Chaplot, Foltz, Elwar. Take them back to Poisson. And bring Linny and the others as well. I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether to take them, the choice is yours. Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will know. Thank you for all you've done for the house. I hope you have bright futures ahead of you.
Father.
Let's go.
Here, grab my arm, Linny. I'll help you walk back.
Thank you.
Clairvy.
Can we talk now? You really are Perry, aren't you? I haven't seen you. Wait, did I somehow travel to the future on accident? Or am I dreaming? What a long dream.
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Ugh, she's not speechless. Oh. Huh? That's it? You accept? Yep. If that's what Perry says happened. Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. I'm more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a harbinger now, Perry, can you tell me about it?
You never stopped trying to defy fate. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see. Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example of you by slowly torturing. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised. But you called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. Your efforts may have only delayed the inevitable, but still. You gave them hope. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never... For the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that the only freedom I truly possess is the freedom to choose to die.
I never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling really worn down. Somehow, I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan, only one of us was going to... If I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice.
Is that so? Even now, I'm not sure I truly understand what kind of freedom you were trying to pursue. But as the head of the House of the Hearth, and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Iudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past. Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
That's more than enough. That's exactly the kind of life... You know, Perry, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and a really great father. I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so happens that our dear guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless places. Perhaps they would be willing to tell you what the...
Really? Of course! We've traveled all over the place. We've got so many stories, we could probably talk your ears off for 3 days straight! hard? Playing the lute while singing into the winds of freedom? Even if there was no one there. Ah, that's where Mora comes from. I never knew that before. If I had some Mora, I would buy 3 new dresses. One for me, one for Perry. It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably wouldn't accept something like that either. I guess I'd just have to keep them all for me then. Those yokai you mentioned, what do they... I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head and a super scary face. Are there any yokai like that? Oh, sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep, we've met one and let Paimon tell. I was always too afraid to skip Mother's fighting lessons, but at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts of secret things in class. I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want without having to... The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime, and they were going to have to stand trial at the Opera Epicles. Oh no! That must have been hard for all of you. Don't worry, we were able to turn the situation around super quickly. All thanks to Detective Paimon, of course. How'd you do that? Come on, tell me. Okay, so it was like this. After the failed magic show, we rushed to the scene and...
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information... Clairvy. You've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well? Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Parallel. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
May we meet again someday.
Clairvy. She left so soon. Paimon didn't even get to finish her story.
I also have certain sentiments left unsaid. I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhnaya was just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures. But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye. Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost to the coming of a new day.
Father?
It's Linny! Hey, Linny! What is he doing back here? Let's go check it out.
Father, the bottled flames have been administered. Filial and the others have left the house.
And you?
Thank you for giving us that choice, Father. But Lynette and Fremine feel the same way. They're recuperating back at the Hotel Bouffe d'été. But
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you. I want you to follow in my footsteps and become the next king of the house. I must admit, I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life. Leading this organization is
I just never understood what you saw in me.
You're brave, talented, and you would do anything to protect them. Even if it costs you your life.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all thanks to you that we were able to convince Father to back down.
You're a hero, Linny.
Hero? Father is the real hero. Had Father gone all out during the duel, there's no way I would have walked away with my life. She must have had it all planned I'm not deserving of that title.
You're wrong. In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the throne is conviction, and we may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you can hardly be said to lack conviction. What you truly lack is strength. Even without that strength, you still chose to face me in a duel, even though the odds were stacked against you. That capacity to honor your convictions is what I truly see in you.
Father.
No one knows what the future holds, what tragedy or triumph may be in store. Being at the head of this organization required, if reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, I would never have succeeded in killing my predecessor. Back then, there was still a considerable gap between our abilities. Strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
I understand, Father.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. Only then, the road ahead is not an easy one. So I'll ask you one.
You've done so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be repaid. Plus, with Project Stuja at hand, there are many dangers ahead, and I, for one, don't intend protecting my family at all costs.
Then you're welcome to stay. As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly businessmen and heartless dignitaries try to take us down, I'm prepared to teach them a lesson. Having members who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a spider hiding in the shadows. We need only wait for our prey to come to us. At present, our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain. As for the two of you, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this, no matter how arduous the journey ahead. I hope we both reach our desired destination.
Lynette and Fremine were recovering at the Hotel Bouffe d'été? Oh, Paimon wonders how they're doing. Maybe we should go check on them. Lynette? Fremine? How are you feeling?
Much better.
Whew,
What about you? Are you feeling up?
I knew you'd come out unscathed. Us, on the other hand, well... Oh, and I wanted to add... Linny and the other members have left Poisson and returned to the House of the Hearth. According to him, there haven't been any more sightings of a spirit roaming the house.
I see.
I'm glad. Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about what happened with Crucibina.
Wait, what? You've met the former...
Crucibina died a year after Clairvy. It was during the year, but Crucibina had an extremely cruel and radical way of doing things. When I joined, though, the experiment she valued so much had already come to an end, and all the people involved, dead and injured alike. A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Crucibina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Clairvy included,
Father took in Lenny and me a couple months after that, but she never mentioned anything about Crucibina or Clairvy.
It really seems like something she was. The last time you talked to her, did she mention why she kept it a secret for so long?
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried we'd develop the foundation of a family should be free of any corrupting influence. Whatever happened in the past, it has nothing to do with who we are now. And that's what Father...
But I still thanked her for everything. It was only after hearing about what Crucibina did that I finally realized how insignificant our lives could have been. The members of the house meant nothing to her. To say that if Father hadn't taken over the House of the Hearth...
Father rarely brings up the fact that she saved us. She doesn't believe that being indebted to her should be what... But even if we didn't owe her anything, we would still choose to stay. We may have arguments or times when we feel wronged. Some people may even choose to leave. But as long as Father is here, we will always have a home.
Whether the path before us is bathed in sunlight or shrouded in shadow, we'll follow Father wherever she chooses to. So I wanted to say thank you for helping us make it through this crisis. Without your help, we could have lost a lot more along...
Oh, we didn't do anything, really.
Of course. You're welcome anytime.
Are Filial and Todd...
I actually saw them at a cafe this morning. They didn't recognize me. From what I could tell, they were drinking coffee and talking. They seemed happy. If I had...
Relax.
gitu. Makanya masuk inventory work in process. Gitu. Sementara yang berapa tadi? 100 kurangi 75 kurangi 15 berarti 10 ya. Yang 10 sisanya